Okay, Occupy Wall Street. This is getting to be a problem. It's getting to be a pretty big problem, and it's getting bigger by the day. The problem isn't necessarily the occupiers or the protesters. The problem is that they're shining a light on the issues that's been screwing the country for so long, and finally it's getting to a point to where people are getting tired of it. But let's try to see how we can solve this problem. Now, I agree with what the occupiers are doing. I just don't agree with the way they're doing it, because I think they're fighting a losing battle. I mean, they're not doing the right thing, in my opinion, and I'll give you the reason why. Um, the main reason why we see these protests is there's no one specific reason why these people are doing it, but most of them that get on camera and do interviews, and most of the picket signs that you see, all has to do with corporate greed, and they're upset with all these corporations that are greedy and getting bailed out and foreclosing on people's homes, and getting bailed out and giving themselves raises, and getting bailed out and and going on extravagant business trips in their Learjets and dinners and a skyscraper in downtown Las Vegas and yada yada yada. So people are getting upset, and rightfully so. But they're getting upset at the wrong group of people. You see, let me give you an analogy. Let me give you a way you can see it in a different tone. Let's say that there's this neighborhood of 1,000 homes, and there's this guy named Bob, and Bob sneaks into your house at night while you're asleep, and he goes into your closet where your safe is, and he takes $1,000, and he comes to my house and says, "Here, I'm gonna give you this $1,000," and I say, "Really? Why?" "Well, because I think you need it." "Well, thanks, Bob. That's nice of you. But what's the catch?" There is no catch. "Okay, well, there's got to be some stipulations. What are they?" "There's no stipulations either." "All right, man. When do I need to pay you back?" "No, you don't pay me back. You just keep it. Just keep it. It's a gift from me. Thanks." "Thanks, Bob. You're pretty freaking awesome." Okay, so the next morning you wake up and you see $1,000 is gone from your safe. Are you gonna get mad at me, or are you gonna get mad at Bob? You see, because if you get mad at me, then you're only protesting the weed. You're not trying to protest the root. The root of this problem is Bob. You see, you can ignore Bob and picket in front of my house and protest in front of my house, but that very next night when you go to bed, Bob's going to go to your closet, take another $1,000 and go to a different house, and he's going to do it every night, every house in that entire neighborhood, until you realize, hey, I can either protest every house in this neighborhood, or every business on the street, or every corporate corrupt business there is, which is all of them, 99% of them. We can either do that, or we can get to the root of the problem. The root of the problem would be Bob, aka our government. Our government, our politicians, people in Congress, there's this thing called lobbying. You see, and that's not a secret. People know what lobbying is, and it's so amazing to me that lobbying is legal. Lobbying is bribery. That's exactly what it is. Long story short, the moral of this issue is we don't need to focus on the people in the neighborhood, the businesses on the streets. That's not going to fix the problem, because there's always going to be more neighborhoods with more homes in it. There's always going to be more streets with businesses on it. What we need to fix is the root. We can't just cut the weed. It's going to grow again, and it's going to continue, and cutting it down, it'll grow again. We just need to attack the root. So what we need to do is, instead of occupying Wall Street or occupying Oakland or occupying where the Chase Bank CEO is doing a speech at, we need to occupy the White House. Have we thought of that? I think that's what we need to occupy. I think that's what we need to change. You see, in 2008, a lot of people voted for Obama. And they voted for Obama because they wanted change. They actually thought they were going to get a change. But in reality, we didn't get a change. We think we have a choice between Republican or Democrat. And because we're kind of fooled into thinking we have a choice, we think, oh, well, it's a fair system. No, because it doesn't matter if it's a Republican or if it's a Democrat. We're going to have the same wars. We're going to have the same spending. We're going to have the same bailing out. We're going to have the same screwing the middle class, causing inflation. We're going to have the same policies in place, just changed and tinkered a little bit. And those policies are a way of screwing the American people. And that's what we're upset about, right? That's what we are essentially protesting about, right? So what we need to do is make sure that this 2012 election is changed. Vote Ron Paul. And for one. And for two, if we want to occupy something, let's occupy the White House. Let's try that.